You ready?
I'm ready. Our mission, Helping Parents Heal, is a nonprofit organization dedicated to assisting bereaved parents to become shining light parents by providing support and resources to aid in the healing process. We go a step beyond other groups by allowing the open discussion of spiritual experiences and evidence for the afterlife in a non-dogmatic way. Affiliate groups welcome everyone, regardless of religious or non-religious background, and allow for open dialogue. Attendance today at this meeting is voluntary, and we are here for the benefit of learning from and sharing with other parents whose child has passed away. It is understood that our discussions are intended to be confidential and not designed to replace traditional therapy or spiritual counseling. Helping Parents Heal offers a wide variety of speakers to allow parents to be informed about many possible ways to heal, to connect with their children, and to learn about the afterlife. The views expressed by our guests do not necessarily reflect those of Helping Parents Heal, and we ask that you take from their presentations whatever may benefit you personally. Welcome, everyone, and thank you, Robin, for being here tonight.
Oh, it's my pleasure to be here. Thank you.
And I am so thrilled to have Robin here as well. Again, he's a close friend of Ann Albers, which is certainly, she's certainly one of the most amazing people we've had on here as well. And I'm going to go ahead and read his bio so that you guys can know just a little bit more about him. I'm also going to type his website into the chat box after. Robin Miller channels heavenly music and is quite the mystic. He lost his son in 2001 to a prescription drug overdose, and his son came and spoke to him. He has had many experiences with spirit, does past life regressions, and can really talk about how there's no death in the ultimate sense. Robin Miller has been performing and composing music for over 20 years. His melodies help to heal hearts, soothe souls, and inspire listeners to feel closer to higher power and the angelic realms. At times, healings have occurred in those listening to his performances, and often listeners find themselves in tears as they feel the love of the heavens. He has recorded with many record labels such as MCA-RCA A&M Records. Danian Brinkley, author of Saved by the Light, once said Robin's music was the closest thing to what he heard on the other side. Sylvia Brown agreed, saying Robin's music comes directly from the angels. Robin creates his music spontaneously, beautiful keyboard instrumentals channeled from the angelic realms, often as he is recording, and has to learn it later in order to play it. He neither reads nor writes music, but rather feels and hears it as it comes through him. He also plays guitar and mandolin and enjoys playing multiple instruments in various melodies. Recently, he has returned to his roots, playing beautiful guitar melodies that captivate his audiences with both their power and their presence. His music receives airplay on cable, radio, and FM stations across the USA and Canada, and musical streaming through DMX and Muzak satellites channels. He currently lives in Sedona, Arizona, where he continues to expand both his work and his consciousness. His website is www.robinmillermusic.com. I'll be typing that into the chat box. And without further ado, please join me in welcoming Robin Miller.
Thank you so much. What a great, first step in this whole process. I've never talked on Zoom before, so please bear with me and forgive me. I don't usually use, Elizabeth had to walk me through this just to be on Zoom in the first place. I'm old school, I played music since I was 7 years old. And so music has been kind of like my life, but other things too, having spiritual experiences. So anyway, talking about my life, I basically grew up in Michigan, and back in Michigan, I played with a lot of different people and studied music by myself. I'm self-taught. I never had a lesson in my life, and and don't even know like much about the notation music, which is, you know, kind of crazy. But there's a lot of people that do that. They just play what they feel, and they grow up, and that's how they do it, and that's how I did it. And but first, let me say too, before I even get into my life at all, that everyone here, I understand, and my heart and my soul goes out to you, because you know we've all been in this position. And the thing is, whether you lose a child, a parent, a friend, any loved one, even the ones that we don't even know that have touched our lives, you know, we're shaken, our souls are shaken. But it's all okay, because it's the mourning process. We need to go through it, the grieving process. We have to go through it. And every one of us have different ways of handling that. Every one of us deal with it in a different way. And whatever way you deal with it, you know, you have to understand though, that the people that we love, whether they're our kids, our parents, friends, like, or whatever, they're great. They're home. They're home. That's where we come from. That's, you know, we are spiritual beings having a physical experience, you know? I mean, really, you know? But until people have an experience, whether it's an out-of-body experience, whether it's, you know, dreams that they remember, visions, whatever, they have a hard time believing, because we use our, you know, six senses here. The six senses are limited in a huge way. So we have to be able to understand that and go on faith a lot of times that, you know, our kids are okay. But let me tell you something, they're way, way more than okay. They're way, way more happier. And just like we were before we incarnated into this physical body, okay? And it's very true. And anyone who's had spiritual experiences, or anyone who has psychic abilities like Anne does, they'll tell you, they know, you know, because they have experienced it. And once a person experiences, like I remember when I was a kid, before I even knew any of this stuff existed, I was at my parents' house in the backyard, and everybody saw this UFO hovering above the Detroit racetrack. And my parents just went ballistic. They said, everybody in the house. My friend that was playing with me jumped the fence and ran home thinking the Martians had landed, terrified. But I was not terrified at all. I just watched this whole experience, and it finally flew away, and there was a little plane that was following it, a little Piper Cub or single engine, you know, Cessna or whatever it was. And you watch this thing just like that, in the blink of an eye, just gone, you know, just so fast. But until you have an experience, it's really sometimes really hard to believe. It's really sometimes hard, oftentimes, to have faith. And it shakes us to the foundation of our souls. It shakes us to the very core of our being. That kind of loss, that kind of tragedy is always, you know, just life shaking. So I'm right here with you. And you must excuse me if I lose my mind a little bit and start crying, because when I talk about Jason or anybody that I've loved, I kind of lose it, like all of us have, you know. And bless you guys for being on this Zoom, and bless you, Elizabeth, you know, and Irene, for doing this and putting this together. You know, it's so needed, it's so necessary, you know, especially now with everything that's going on, and people, you know, in fear, the COVID thing and everything else is going on, and fires and hurricanes. And I mean, you know, people think it's the end times from the Bible, and who knows, it may be, you know, but there is no end. There is no end whatsoever. We are forever beings, and we will always be forever beings. We come into this body, and believe me, it's really hard to leave, you know, the other side and focus our being into these little bodies. You know, it's much harder to be born than it is to die. Trust me. It's way more challenging to come in, and we have a lot of help from our spirit guides and from other beings of light to even enter the physical body, to go through the whole process of it, you know. And excuse me, I'm crying a little bit just talking about this. But the feelings are real. you know, and we have to go through them. The mourning and the grieving have to happen. You know, it does. It has to happen. You have to go through it. In my case, with my son Jason, he died of an overdose. He was 26 years old, and before he even died, I started having, you know, experiences, dreams of this or that. You know, it didn't happen the way I thought it was going to happen, though. In the dreams, but the dreams were warning me. They were just giving me a little heads up that stuff is coming, because I knew that he, you know, had a drug problem, you know, from being diagnosed with bipolar. And so he was taking antidepressants, he was taking all these things, then he hurt his foot and he was taking painkillers, and, you know the story. Okay. Everybody who has had this experience knows the story. Okay. So he passed. And 3 or 4 days after he passed, he came to me in a dream. In this dream of mine, I was in bed sleeping, and then all of a sudden I heard his voice, you know, calling to me from the doorway outside my bedroom. So I rushed to my bedroom, and I was trying to grab him in such, you know, joy, and that he was here, because this is a dream. This is him coming to visit me in a dream. He was in the hallway with 2 light beings standing next to him on either side. They were helping him to reach me. Okay. And anyway, what was really funny was that he still has a great sense of humor in a huge way. And we would laugh a lot and, you know, play stuff. Even when he was a little baby, we were always playing, but, sorry. It's been years since he passed. Okay. But, you know, love never dies. Everyone that we love goes on forever. But anyway, in the dream, you know, I was trying to lunge into the hallway where he was standing at the edge of the door, okay, with these beings, because I just wanted to hold him so bad. And every time I would lunge into the hallway, he would laugh. He would give out his great laugh, and I would do it several times. I was doing this, and he would he finally said to me, he says, Dad, it's okay. It's okay. You know, it's all a bunch of baloney. He didn't use that word, though. I'm cleaning it up a little bit. It's all a bunch of baloney. I'm not dead. I'm right here. I'm right here. And then he started laughing, and I started laughing. And I woke up from that dream laughing. And after I woke up, I just thanked God, thanked Spirit for giving me this wonderful, wonderful experience, because I will all my life cherish this, you know. All my life, I will never forget this. And once a person has a spiritual experience, whether they're leaving their body or, you know, whatever, they realize that they are not their body. And that's what we don't really get a lot of times. We live in these bodies. We have our 5 senses. We go about our day. We work. We play. We watch TV. We eat. Whatever we do, and we're so attached to them because we've been in them for a while. You know, we're parents. We're not little kids. Little kids are not afraid of death. Little kids know inside their souls that it's okay. Little kids who remember their past lives. You can go like to YouTube and just punch in, you know, children with past life memories. And you can come up with a whole long list of these children that remember their past lives. So this is just one of many, many experiences that I've had. But, you know, for all of you that have had experiences, bless you, and it's wonderful. And for those of you who haven't, you have to know that your kids are great. They are great. They're home. They are loving their life. They are loving it way more than here. My son was so sensitive. He couldn't deal with life here. He couldn't, I mean, that's why the drugs and everything were something that he felt he needed to have in order to function in this world. Okay. And I sent him to rehab a couple of times, and I would have long talks with him, and but when people are on that and they get to that point where they really begin to believe in their minds that they have to have it, it's an addiction. He did. He believed he had to have it. I don't blame him for that. I don't judge him at all. I just bless him and bless the time that I had with him in this life, because in this life, he was my son. Maybe in other lifetimes, he was my friend. He was my dad. Whatever. It doesn't matter. The people you love go on and on anyway, and love goes on anyway. Love never dies. So all the love, all the deep, profound love that everyone has, okay, goes on. These bodies don't, these bodies, you take the body off when you leave your body. You take the clothes off when you leave your body. But anyway,
Robin, can
sorry.
I
Sorry for going on and on. I'm
possibly,
sorry.
can I break in just to ask?
Absolutely.
Maybe we can play one of your songs, either Dancing with Angels or Transcendence, just to give people an idea of how beautiful your music
Oh,
is.
thank you. Thank
And
you.
maybe you could just give a backstory on whichever one you would like for me to start with, so that people will understand a little bit about them.
Okay. Before Jason actually passed, I was supposed to go in the studio to make my next album, my next CD. Okay. And it's called The Heart of Love. The Heart of Love. And I couldn't go into the studio. I was, because it happened, and I was so in my pain. But I knew I needed to go in and do something. And so I wrote a song in the studio, and I titled it Song for My Son. And then I had a couple other songs that I had written for some of my kids, like my youngest daughter, Tara. It's called the Within Tara's Heart. And you're gonna, I think you're gonna be playing Within Tara's Heart, or no, you're gonna be playing, that's a different album. I'm sorry, I have like 15, 20 albums. You're gonna be playing what is it called?
Dancing with Angels.
Dancing with Angels. Because he is, and because all of our kids are dancing with angels,
So
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
For those of you who don't have earphones on, it's a great idea to put them on. If you can't hear it with earphones tonight, if you plug the earphones into the YouTube video that will be coming out, you'll be able to hear it just as well as everyone else. But is it okay if I go ahead and share my screen so that we can get to Dancing with Angels? So this obviously is Robin Miller here. Does everyone see my screen? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with this. Okay, that was absolutely gorgeous. Robin, there you go. So we're going to stop the share because,
Okay.
sorry, I don't want to, oh, darn it. Let me go ahead back into screen share and get this stopped because this is a different, you have to just be able to press on this. There we go. Sorry. So,
Okay, there you go.
so I would love for you to tell just a little bit more about that song. I obviously every time I hear it, it transports me to a different place, and I'm sure that everyone else on here feels the same way. But can you tell us just a little bit about that?
Well, all I can say is when I went into the studio, you know, I had to wait for like almost a year before, and not maybe, I can't remember. Time is like, anyway, it was early on, you know, after, not that far after he died. Okay. And whenever I go into the studio, I just let spirit play through me. I do. And, you know, I might have an idea that comes or whatever, but it happens usually right there in the moment. I don't spend, you know, time like weeks, months, years writing a song. It just comes. And so anyway, that song, Dancing with Angels, I wanted to start out with it because it felt like to me like a almost like a little child's lullaby feel to it, you know, and that's why I named it Dancing with Angels. And that's one of Ann's favorite songs, by the way. But you know, whenever I record, you know, I'll go from song to song to song. So it usually takes me like a few days to actually get it down, the whole album. And then I have to, you know, go back with the engineer and, you know, edit stuff and, you know, fix it like that. But, yeah, that's basically it. I mean,
Can I tell you what people are saying about it?
what
Joyce is saying that love never dies. Sherry's
never
saying
dies.
beautiful. Peggy's saying very pretty. Sherry's saying that was very pretty. Adriana's saying beautiful, so peaceful and beautiful from Joan. Valentina's saying a beautiful piece. I have goosebumps. Deborah, lovely. Paula, so beautiful. Thank you. Lindsay's saying, I pictured my son smiling and laughing, and it brought tears to my eyes.
And that's what he's doing.
Yes. Susan is saying, just beautiful. Babette is saying, so beautiful. Thank you for coming, Robin. Debbie's
Oh,
saying,
I'm so glad to be
beautiful.
here. I'm so overjoyed to be here.
And Mary's asking, does he just sit and start to play? But we can talk about that after. Desert Lass is saying, that was so beautiful. Listening to it brought so much emotion. Renee is saying, great song to meditate to. Beautiful. Gail Lynn is saying, I just put you on Spotify.
Yeah, I'm there, but not all my albums, just a few. All my albums, I didn't let, okay, I was on CD Baby too. I'm on CD Baby, but they don't have all my albums. They only have a few, like, you know, 8 or something like that, 9. But I have a lot more, and they don't have my very newest album, which is called Dreams of Heaven. They don't have that one.
That's
But
beautiful.
you can get it on my website.
And Mary's saying, my son was a classical musician. He said his earthly music was guided by the heavens through a medium. Okay, now, Robin, I would love for you to tell about Jason and his near-death experience because he actually transitioned twice. Could
He
you
did.
just
He
tell a
did.
little bit about that?
He did. Well, you know, because of his problem with the drugs, he was at a party and some friends gave him some drugs to take, plus the drugs he was taking, plus he was drinking because everybody was drinking, you know, young kids, you know, and all of a sudden he just passed out on the floor and they called the emergency. And so the paramedics came and while they came and got him, he was already passed. His heart had already stopped on the floor. And so he left his body immediately. He was watching the whole thing, watching his friends trying to get him back breathing, you know, and feeling great. Okay, this is all what he told me after the fact. Okay, he was feeling great, And then they came, they took his body in the ambulance off to the hospital while he was kind of floating along with them. They rushed him into the emergency room. They started doing whatever they did to get him breathing again. But while he was not breathing and while his heart was stopped, okay, he found himself moving into the light, into this wonderful, beautiful light, okay? And all of a sudden, my parents were there. My parents have passed a long time ago. My parents were there, friends of his that he knew back in Michigan, who had also passed from a drug overdose, and were there to meet with him. He saw dogs. He saw, you name it, all the people that love him and loved him on earth in this physical body, in this particular life, you know? And then other people started coming into from other lives, other love that never dies. And then his guide came to him and showed him some scenes and the beauty and the joy of this heavenly realm, okay? And then he asked Jason, you need to choose because you don't need to be here now yet, okay? And so, you know, his guide said to him, it's going to be rough. It's going to be hard if you go back to your body. But this is life here, as life goes on all the time. So he decided to come back into his body. And when they were working on him in the emergency room, he breathed and came shooting back into his body, remembering everything. But he failed. He didn't have the courage to tell me about this experience until several months afterwards. And then when he told me, I kind of like, you know, when you know your child has had a near-death experience, it freaks you out because that's how close he came to dying. Okay. But he ended up dying maybe about 6 months later, the week before he actually died, kind of doing the same thing, not really, but you know, with a friend. When he really died, I knew that the visions and the dreams that I had been having about him came true. And so Spirit has a way of coming and helping us work through these things if we're open. We have to be open. We have to ask God, ask Spirit to help, you know, because this kind of pain, no parent should ever lose a child. No, nobody. Every single moment of every single day, people do. And, you know, everybody deals with it in a different way. What was really fascinating to me was when, after the fact, okay, I had to work, and, you know, I took several weeks off just so I could try to come back to my body from the pain, come back from the grief, because I was so unbelievably sad. And so I'm playing outside, you know, and people were coming up to me and just spontaneously telling me about their children passing. Like me not saying a word, but they would talk to me. They would bring it up. And as I was playing a certain melody, because when I play certain melodies, or if you do end up getting a CD or downloading a CD, because if you have a problem finding them, you can always find them on my website too. But there are certain songs on each CD that hit people a different way. And that's why I have to go back and remember them. Because each song has something different to tell. And, you know, music is very powerful anyway, you know.
Going back though, wait. I need to get you to go back to after he had this near-death experience. These kids that he saw that had transitioned from Michigan.
Right. I'm sorry. I should have told that story.
This
You might have to keep me online here, because
no, it's okay. I just want
even
you to...
after all these years, honey, it's hard. It's hard to talk about stuff. Even though I know he's in a great place and I love him tremendously, I will always love him. You know, it's hard. So anyway, the two or three friends that came to him when he passed the first time, when he had the near-death experience, they started talking to him, and they started telling him that, you know, basically what I used to tell him too, you don't have to do this. You don't, you know, this is not the path that you need to walk. And they were talking to him lovingly, not in a mean way at all, not in a judgmental way. They're just saying, you don't need to do this, And he knew all of them because they were friends, like from high school and junior high, who had all taken that same path of drug abuse, all of them. And he had all their numbers in his telephone book. So after he came back from his body the first time, he called their homes where they grew up, talked to their parents, and every single one of them said and gave him the win, their sons had died. So they were in spirit form waiting to meet him, to greet him, and to show him that there is no death. There is no death.
But he didn't know that they had passed.
He
This
didn't
is
know
the
they had
most
passed.
amazing
He had
thing.
no idea.
So he
had
called
passed.
their parents because he wanted to find out about them. And the parents told him that they had passed, which is just amazing.
It's amazing to us because we don't, most of us have a hard time believing that there's life after death. But there's tons and tons of people. Here again, YouTube, which is wonderful. Just type up near-death experiences. There's like endless experiences that people talk about. So this is happening all over the world. It's happening for like a long time. A lot of people way back when in ancient times, in the Greek times, and they had philosophers and spiritual people who had experiences, and they came back to write about it or talk about it. And so, I mean, we just in this modern world, we're just so caught up in our lives, and a lot of us don't take the time or the energy or the focus to like really, explore, research, whatever. But the information is out there now more than ever.
Definitely.
It's
well,
like
I don't want to not be able to play your other song, Transcendence.
Okay.
Do you want to say something about it before we play it, or maybe after? Do you want to wait till after?
Okay.
After? Okay.
Yeah, after, please.
So again, I want all of you to make sure that you have your earphones on if you can, because you'll hear it a lot better with the earphones. But here we go. Let me start from the beginning. Sorry.
You're doing great, Elizabeth. It's me that's having the problem.
Fine. Beautiful. Oh my goodness gracious. So,
Thank you so much. Thank you.
so now would you like to tell us a little bit of backstory on that song?
Well, I've had experiences a lot in my life, you know, and the one thing I've always really felt and known was that this life, which is very short, you know, no matter how long you live, is short. I mean, here I am at age 71, and it's like when I think about my life, it's like a blink of an eye, because really, in truth, there is no time. Only here we operate in time. We get up, we do our thing, and have to go run to work on time. Everything has to be on time. But in our souls, we are forever. So, being forever, you know, it's hard for us a lot of times to really believe that we are forever, because we see life happen and you know, are here, you know. So what happens with melodies that come through me, I record them and then I put a title on them. And a lot of times I don't even remember the title, because it's the melodies that I remember. Sometimes I have to go back and relearn, listen to the CD, relearn the song so I can even play it. And that may sound insane, but it's true, because these are given to me, you know, they're given to me. And I remember I was playing, well, with different people. Like I was on the road with Sylvia Brown, and people had all kinds of experience with certain melodies from certain CDs, you know. So I got feedback, lots of feedback, lots of letters, you know. And but I have had several times, I have had what really wonderful experiences with children, where children will come in, little children, like maybe 3 or 4 years old. And there was this one little girl when I was playing outside doing my music. It's Lakapaki years and years ago. And she was with her mommy, okay? And she stopped in her tracks to my right. And I had my eyes closed, and I opened my eyes because I felt something. And as I was playing this melody, she looked over at me, but she wasn't looking at me. She was looking above me. And she started pulling on her mom's skirt. She says, "Mommy, mommy, look at that angel behind that man. Look at that angel." And of course, you know, her mom looked at me and didn't see anything, because kids are more, you know, still connected in a very big way to the other side. They see things, they know things, just like lots of past lives they know when they're that young. You know, they get shut down by their parents when they talk about it, about their imaginary friends or whatever, but they're just still, you know, connected. We grow up, and as adults, we can't see most of the time, you know, except people like Anne, or, you know, or people like Sylvia Brown, who I was on the road with a lot, you know, for several years before she, you know, we parted ways. But I don't know how am I doing, you guys? I'm
You're doing a great job. And I just want to quickly ask if Linda Donnan is here, because she really wanted to just say hi. And
Hi, Linda.
I see that there's a Linda here, so I'm going to ask to unmute. Is this the correct Linda? Because that's the only Linda I see here. Is that Linda? Are you on here and ready to?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, wonderful. Let me quickly.
Hi, Robin. Long time.
Are you the one from Northern Michigan?
Long time.
Awesome.
Yep, I met you, I think, in 72 or 73.
Right. When I lived back there, right.
Over by Traverse City.
Yep.
And the guys were playing in your house.
Yeah.
And I was over visiting John.
How wonderful.
And I remember going there long. I'm surprised I can remember back that far, actually.
Great.
But
so great.
Yeah.
And
long time
John's
ago.
right now still trying to recover from this horrible accident he had. I mean, I get updates from his wife every now and then.
We're supposed to have a big fish fry this summer at my house.
Oh, wonderful.
With alpina berries and,
that's
you
great.
know, different things that he's missed. And
yeah,
the day he was planning on coming back and going to finalize the plans, he got in this accident.
Yeah, right. Oh, boy.
But I grew up across the street. I met him when I was 4 years old.
That is so great. That is so great. Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
I knew his dad back then and everything and his family and you know,
Yep.
good salt of the earth, wonderful people, you know.
and it's so wonderful to
Yes.
have you guys connect. I have another person, Michelle Tillery, who just met you today. She lives in your neighborhood, Robin. Do you
That's right,
remember that?
Michelle. Yes, that's right. I was telling you about her.
Michelle is our San Luis Obispo affiliate leader, but now she's moved up to
Sedona.
Sedona as well. And she and her husband are there. And so
Yes.
she's on here and says hi.
Great.
And I
Hi.
also, I have a whole bunch of other people who are saying some absolutely wonderful things
Aw.
about your music. First of all, let's see. This is about the second song. Then, so much emotion and love in the music. And Michelle said, "Robin lives in my neighborhood in
I
Sedona.
do.
I
I
was
just met
blessed
her.
to meet him this morning on my walk." And then Judy Hancock is saying, "So blessed." This is about your last song. Let's see, Linda is saying just beautiful, and I think this must be Linda who just spoke to you.
Yeah.
Anna is saying
She's still
beautiful.
here. I see her on my
Yes, and
Yes,
then Desert Lass is saying again, so beautiful. Justine is saying, yes, I teach early childhood music and it's magical. Definitely my purpose in life. My son's message through my partner after he passed was teach them like you taught me. So it's helped me, especially now in the pandemic.
absolutely.
Making music with children is such important work. And Sherry is saying, you are doing great. Anna is saying, you are a wonderful, emotional, and funny person. I love you.
Well,
And
I try to be, but sometimes I get overwhelmed like everybody. You know, we live on this planet. It's a series of ups and downs, good and bad, dark and light, you know, and we have to go through it all as humans, but
it isn't easy, but I'll tell you, you're doing a fabulous job. Anna is our new affiliate leader for all of our members who speak Spanish, and she's going to be starting to present Spanish-speaking YouTube videos as well, or Zoom meetings. Galen is
wonderful.
saying she's also our newest affiliate leader from Carmel, California. You are a gift to us, Robin. Thank you for being here.
Oh, bless you
And
if you say that. Bless you.
Amy is saying, my son passed of an OD at age 34. He also had a near death, but never talked about what he saw or felt. Thanks for sharing this music. So angelic and peaceful, which
Thank
is
you so
wonderful.
much for all your comments, and thank you so much for you guys being here and participating in this wonderful group. It's really, I can't even say how wonderful it is. And it's healing for me to even talk about this right now, even after all these years. He passed in 2002, and it's been a lot of years, but you know what? That never leaves your soul. It never leaves your heart, never leaves your mind. I don't care how old you can be, you know?
I agree, but I'll tell you, you've got a great group of people around you to be able to help. And boy, oh boy, Ann Albers is just amazing.
She's helped me so much. She's incredible, incredible soul.
And, you know, I just want to tell you, because you're not yet, you need to join Helping Parents Heal so that you
Okay,
can.
I'll have to figure out how to do it on my computer because I don't know how to use my computer very well.
I
I'm
promise
totally,
I'll help
really, like
you.
you guys are
I'll
doing
walk
great.
you through
You
it.
guys are doing great, not me. I'm the one with hella problems. I had to call Elizabeth before we did this site. She had to show me, talk me through it.
But you're a fast learner, and it's easy. Once you've done it once, it's really easy.
Well, thank you for
But,
being so patient, honey.
no, it's fine, completely. So Paola is saying, what a beautiful presentation and beautiful music. Thank you, Robin.
Oh, thank you. God bless. Thank you.
Suzanne, who is a caring listener, we have caring listeners as well, is saying yes in capital letters. Tina's sending butterflies, hearts, and well, two hearts and a butterfly. And Paula is saying, join us, Robin. We are here for each other. And Justine is saying thank you both so much. Are there any parting words? We have about 9 minutes left in the hour. Is there anything that you'd like to tell us? I know that you have this website.
So many stories. There's so many stories.
Okay.
Let me just pick one. Okay, I'll just pick one.
Okay.
I don't know how many of you folks have ever or know who Sylvia Browne was.
Mm-hmm. Of course we do.
You know,
Or
she
a
was
lot of us do.
psychic on Montel Williams all the time, you know. Well, anyway, I played for one of her talks in Los Angeles. I drove from Sedona to Los Angeles, and she immediately wanted to take me on tour with her and stuff. So I was on tour with her for several years, and what I would do is I played music before her talks. I just get up there on my keyboards, traveling with my keyboards, and play music before her talks. And I played in front of all kinds of audience, but this one audience in New York, this experience blew my mind in a very real way, because it shows us how powerful spirit is when they want to get a message across. Okay. I was playing this song that I written for my mom, who passed away, called In Mother's Arms. And I played the song like I was playing all the other songs, but when I was finished with this song in particular, there was a lady in the front row at the Javits Center who came up to the edge of the stage where I was like set up on the, towards the edge of the stage, because Sylvia had the front of the stage. And she held up her cell phone and she just looked at me and she goes, "Can you explain this?" And while I was playing my song In Mother's Arms, there was, at the top of my keyboard, this white, orange, yellow, beautiful light, and it just shocked me. But I was in the middle of a performance. My gosh, that's how much she was like freaked out. And then it freaked me out. And then I finished my little, intro or performance, and I went backstage and I told Sylvia about this, and she goes, "Oh, it's your mom. She's heard that song 1,000,000 times." Because that's what I'm saying. There is no death, and the other side is way more closer to us than we are to them right now, because we don't have the perceptions like psychic people like James Van Prague or other great psychics, the Long Island medium who's on TV all the time. These people are coming into our world right now because of all the big changes and how many people are on this planet now, and because of the things like this, the technology like this, where we can reach each other, books, TV, all these different things to help us learn and grow as a species. And we need to grow, and we need to evolve, and we need to raise our consciousnesses to understand that these are not, mumbo jumbo, new age stuff. This is truth. The truth is the truth, no matter what somebody believes. And when you have an experience, you can have a belief in this or that, but until you have the experience, it's different. It's like what, 300-400 years ago, people believed the earth was flat. And there are a lot of people that still believe it. I think that they're the ones that in the Flat Earth Society. And they will have an answer for everything because they are stuck in their belief system. They will not open their minds. But when you have an experience of being an astronaut and going out there and seeing, whoa, the world is flat after all, it changes you. Every astronaut that has gone into space has been changed, their lives, everyone. Because they see how small our world is. This particular planet is just tiny compared to the cosmos. And it's only a physical planet. What about the non-physical planets or worlds and dimensions? It's like Jesus said, many mansions in my Father's kingdom, many mansions. And it's true. This is just one life in a continuation of countless forever lives until we get it, until we open our souls up to spirit and to God. We got to come back to learn over and over again. And, here I am learning and getting my butt kicked like everybody else in life as we move up and down, as we ride the roller coaster of this world, And unfortunately, or fortunately, it sometimes takes the hard things to really shake us up, to make us really understand, and that, it's time to really, do self-inquiry and understand more about life and ourselves, That's what it's all about. It's about self-love, self-understanding, self-wisdom, and being happy and joyful, you know? And that's hard a lot of times here because we are stuck in this illusion of this world being everything and everything else being not existent. But just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's there. Just because you don't believe in it, it's still there and will always be there. So it's about opening our minds, it's about opening our hearts, our souls to a greater understanding and wisdom within us. Meditation, prayer, touching your soul, going for walks, all these things, taking care of your body. Because believe me, when this happened to my son, it was hard for me to even eat or sleep for a long time until I had that dream, and that helped me. But I still would think about the past, reflect, retrospect, and all these things like everybody does, wishing I could have saved him as a parent. Your kid comes into your world, you take care of them, you feed them, you clothe them, you love them tremendously beyond words. There's no words for the love. And then, a parent is never supposed to see their child leave, but that's life in this body. It's temporary. Everything is temporary here, jobs, clothes, bodies as they grow older. When you saw me, I was like a young puppy, Linda. But now here I am, but I'm still vertical. I'm still above ground. No, that's funny, but it's not funny. But the body goes into the ground, not us. As soon as we pass, it's a whole different thing. And it takes time, sometimes probably for people to understand it who don't ever have the experience. But I just want to assure you, and Anna Albers can assure you too, if you ever talk with her, that there is no death. There is none. So even though we have to grieve and we have to mourn and we have to go through the whole process of life, and after we lose loved ones, whether they're our kids or they're, friends, people that we love, parents, everyone. Am I running out of time here? I don't know. I'm kind of going on and on. I'm sorry.
Doing a great job, but I want to be able to tell you what people are saying in the chat box. So Justine is saying, thank you both so much. Victoria is saying, so beautiful. Lifts my heart to hear your music. Joyce is saying, thank you, Robin. Please join this wonderful organization.
I'm going to.
Christine is saying, thank you for sharing your heart, your son, and your music with us, Robin. Sherry is saying, yep. And Michelle Saltmeyer is saying, I read many of her books, I think talking about Sylvia Brown, because that was back at that time when you were talking. Joan is saying, thank you for this lovely hour. Andrea is saying, thank you. Elizabeth, you are wonderful. Thank you. Andrea, this wasn't me, but thank you. Lindsay is saying, love your laugh and wisdom. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much. Music is beautiful. Kathy is saying, wow, how beautiful. Daisy is saying, thank you both. Sherry is saying, that is amazing. Irene is saying, such wonderful reminders that our children are right here and always with us. I can't wait to listen to more of Robin's music. Thank you. Lisa is saying, I very much look forward to meeting you, Robin. You just said my line, and I'm sure she'll tell you what it is. Lisa's amazing. She's up in Sedona all the time. They have a home up in Sedona, and they have one down here in Scottsdale, and she's an incredible psychic medium. So I think she might have something to tell you, too, about Jason, possibly. Suzanne is saying, experience is everything. Andrea is saying, great info. Irene is saying, right here. So our kids are right here. Mary is saying, what a beautiful soul. Thank you, Robin. Anna is saying, my life has certainly changed with HP, helping parents heal. Tina is saying, you are such an inspiration. Thank you. I lost my son to an overdose 10 months ago. Thank you for being here to show us joy is possible.
God bless you, honey. God bless you.
Sherry is saying, you are amazing. Thank you for your words and beautiful music. Paula is saying, I've never been able to get myself where I am today before this sorrow. And that's wonderful. Paula is saying, beautiful words, Robin. Galen is saying, lots of love coming through, Robin. Thank you.
Thank you.
Amy is saying, thank you for your kindness and understanding. I have to leave. I guess she was getting off the call, but
Okay.
glad I could join for a short visit. Linda's saying, I am so thankful we got to reconnect years later. It has been so very welcoming. And Rebecca is saying, Robin, you are a beautiful soul. Suzanne is saying, so happy you are joining our group. So
Thank you. Yes.
so I just want to
You
close with this and tell you that you are completely, that you will be welcome with open arms into our group if you decide to become a part of it. Everyone on here, remember that we have Ann Alberts coming to speak to us on Wednesday. Maybe Robin will be on that meeting as well. That would be exciting if
I figure out how to do it, she'll have to walk me through it like you did. But listen, oh, also, if anybody wants to go see my website, you know, I don't know, did you tell them about my website? Or
I did tell them, and I typed it in at the very beginning. So
okay, thank you.
your website is www.robinmillermusic.com. Is that right? Is that
correct?
Yes, and I have it right here. But just to let you guys know that once again, and again, I'm sure that we'll see you back sometime soon, maybe with some new song or some of the other songs as well. And thank you for being here. We always ask oh, Anne just came in. Okay,
Anne just came in. Did you get your deadbolt?
Well, she's not quite connected. I think we all have to just say hi to Anne really quickly.
Okay, hi, Anne.
Sweetheart. Let's see. Where is Anne? Come
hi,
on,
Anne.
Let's see. She's probably connecting right now.
Yes.
Let's see.
I see her. She's there.
There she is.
Yeah, I'm sorry I'm so late. I had things I had to do.
That's okay. That's okay.
That's completely fine. So Anne, since you are going to be, first of all, I just want to tell you, Robin did a fabulous job.
I can't wait to see the replay.
Well, you'll be able to see it. It's recorded, but also I just wanted to have you say a few words about Wednesday. I'm so excited that you're coming. Everybody in the chat box is saying they can't wait to see you. So,
oh, you guys are so sweet. Yes, I look forward to it. I'm going to wait and see what the angels tell me to say, probably, you know, whatever's guided, but how to connect, how to continue to look for the signs, those sorts of things.
Well, this is wonderful. And we were just wrapping up, but we are going to have tons of time to speak to you on Wednesday. And thank you. And you have to show Robin how to get on, because he's gonna join Helping Parents Heal. So he'll be a part of these meetings.
Wonderful. That's good news.
Yeah. I think he knows how to now. So anyway, thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure that everyone can unmute themselves.
Yeah, I did it, Elizabeth.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Whoops, I just did it the opposite way, so that's not good. So now people can unmute themselves and say goodbye, and thank you to Robin.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you, Robin.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Thank you so much.
Have a wonderful night.
Thank you.
Thanks, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Robin.
Bye.
Thanks,
Very-
Irene.
you.
Bye-bye.
Oh, gosh.